Hi all, welcome to this next Google Hangout. As it turns out, I'm on my own today, so I'm very happy with anybody joining me here. All the other facilitators happen to have other obligations today, and as you can probably see, I'm doing this from home as well, in a room that is already getting dark because it's winter time here, and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the light is fading. You have been working this week on PBL problems and how to design problems. So one of the things I wanted to tell you a bit about is what it's like as a tutor to work with good or less good PBL problems. And I have a few pragmatic announcements about the peer review and the questionnaire and about changing teams. And if you have any questions, you can ask them now in the chat, or at the end, I'll give you all the floor to ask as many questions as you want. First of all, the PBL problem as a basis for discussions in a tutor group. The quality of PBL problems can vary quite a lot. And when you're a tutor, you really notice this. If a problem is too difficult, your life as a tutor is very hard because you have to pull the discussion out of the group and they won't know where to start. On the other hand, if the problem is too easy, then they'll all sit there and say, "Ah, yeah, I got that in secondary school, what's new?" If the problem is very far from their own experience, they might find it very hard to understand. But on the other hand, if it comes very close as a tutor, you might also have to take that into account. Personally, I really have a preference for PBL problems that are quite open, that allow a lot of discussions and a lot of questions for me as a tutor along the lines of, but what would you do if this was an elderly person and not a teenager having this problem? Or what would you do if you would encounter this situation not in a Western country, but in a country with less resources? So I prefer if problems are open enough, unstructured enough to have that discussion, to have students discuss. That's not always what students like, and I think some of you have referred to this also in the discussion forum, that especially students who are not used to this kind of format might be quite anxious about whether they're thinking along the right lines, whether they're doing the right thing. They might ask you, is this correct? And then as a tutor, you might have to postpone that and say, well, why don't you discuss first what you think about it? I'm looking forward to seeing what you have studied this week about designing PBL problems, and even more to maybe some of your own experiences with writing PBL problems or with tutoring PBL groups. So far, my own reflection maybe. A few pragmatic things. We've seen some questions about the peer review in the discussion fora. After the post discussions, we have organized a more formal peer review that will appear as a task in your task list. This is an individual assignment, but it's not obligatory. I think we've learned from our previous run that most participants really, really like to see what other teams are doing. I think you can also get inspired by seeing what other teams are doing. So I would encourage you to go and do peer reviews formally during in this task, or even informally when you just read through assignments and give comments. Then another thing this week is the midterm questionnaire. If you haven't filled it out yet, please do so. We really would like to hear your thoughts and your opinions so that we can keep on improving this course and improving our own PBL. And that connects a bit to why are we doing this at all? When we were thinking a few years ago whether something like a Mooc would be suitable for Maastricht University, we discussed that we didn't want to organize a Mooc that was not along our own educational principles. So we didn't want to organize a Mooc that was very straightforward, teacher-led, in the sense of do this, read that, watch this clip, make this assignment. We organized this Mooc about problem-based learning along the lines of problem-based learning. We're trying to make you experience to an extent what problem-based learning is, but we're very aware of the fact that there are some very important differences between what you are doing and the classical form of PBL that we do with our students. You're working online, many of you are working with people that you don't know, and you don't have a tutor to guide you in this process. So we are also very curious to see how that works, if it's valuable to you, and how we could improve that experience to you, given the fact that we just simply don't have the resources to give a free course with very extensive tutor support. So let us know what you think. We're very curious, and we'd like to learn from you as much as you hopefully learn from us. One last pragmatic thing that I wanted to explain. Some of you have noticed that they're in teams that are very small or not acting very actively. It is possible to change teams or to merge with another small team. If your team is very inactive and you feel alone, I would urge you to do so and to leave the current team and join another one. If you leave the team, you will be prompted with a question that asks you whether you want to keep your credits. Please do so, because that means that the assignments that you have done will stick with you. And then for the new assignments, you can go along with your new team. If you have joined a team later, or you've missed on an assignment because you were just switching teams, please let us know, because we can fix this and make sure that you can still get the certificate of participation in the end. I think that's about all that I wanted to say. Are there any questions? Maybe you'd like to share your experiences in the Mooc so far? No? Hi, how are you? Would you like to say something? Even if you have no questions, I'm happy that you enjoy learning. If you have any questions for next time, please let us know. If you'd like to talk about your experiences, good or bad, in one of our upcoming Hangouts, we'd be very happy to have you with us. Okay then. Bye. See you next time.